Welcome to the match preview for a blockbuster Group B clash at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It is Nigeria's Super Falcons against Algeria's Les Verts, happening this Sunday, July 13, 2025 in Morocco. My name is Ayoti and you're watching EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football, and I have a packed video for you. We'll talk about the tournament form so far. We'll talk about previous meetings between the sides. We'll look at some key players to watch and key matchups. We'll talk about some tactical possibilities. And of course, as always, I'll make my prediction for this crucial match in Group B. This is a game that is going to decide who tops the group, who finishes second, and probably who finishes third. And it will set the tone for the knockout stages. So grab your jersey, settle in, and let's dive into the action. Before we get started, please make sure to hit the like button. It's a little small thing that you can do to help us out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any of our WAFCON coverage. Let's kick things off with where both teams stand in the world. Nigeria Super Falcons are Africa's top ranked side at 36th in the world, according to the 2025 FIFA Women's Rankings updated in June. Their consistency at WAFCON and their strong showings against global giants like Spain and Brazil at the Olympics, despite narrow losses, prove that Nigeria is a force to be reckoned with. Algeria, known as Les Verts, they sit at 82nd globally, a respectable position, but quite a step below Nigeria. They are not amongst Africa's elite in terms of rankings, but don't let that fool you. Algeria have some quality players, and this is a team that is looking to make history by reaching the knockout stages for the first time ever. The rankings, as far as FIFA is concerned, is a story of experience against ambition. Nigeria has the edge, but Algeria's hunger could make this a closer contest than the numbers suggest. Let us talk about how both teams have been performing in Morocco so far. It's been so far so good for Nigeria in Group B. Kicked off the tournament with a commanding 3-0 victory over Tunisia on July 6th. Oshowala scored first. Babajide doubled the lead before halftime, and then Ihezuo sealed it late as a super sub. Then on July 10th, the Super Falcons edged out Botswana in a 1-0 victory, a tougher battle than most people expected, with Ihezuo coming off the bench to score a very, very late winner. So that's 6 points, 4 goals scored, no goals conceded, and a ticket to the quarterfinals already secured. Algeria, on the other hand, they've shown some grit and resilience. They started with a 1-0 victory over Botswana, thanks to an early goal from Inter Milan's Kutia Kachuni. And then on July 10th, they played out a goalless draw against Tunisia in the Maghreb Derby, keeping their clean sheet intact. With 4 points, no goals conceded, and a +1 goal difference, they are in a great position to reach the knockout stages of the WAFCON for the first time in their history. Nigeria's attack has been good, but not at their best in this tournament, while Algeria's defense has been solid, but they are about to face Nigeria's firepower, and it's going to be their toughest opponent in the competition so far. This is a classic battle of Nigeria's firepower against Algeria's stubborn backline. But to understand this matchup, we need to look back at their histories in this tournament. Historically, the Super Falcons are the queens of WAFCON, and that is no exaggeration. We've won 9 titles, 98, 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2010, 2014, 2016, and 2018, making Nigeria the most successful team in the tournament history. Nigeria has been a part of all 15 editions, with only 2 fourth-place finishes and 1 third-place finish coming in 2008. The last title was, of course, in 2018, and a 4th-place finish in 2022 makes the Super Falcons hungry to reclaim their crown as the Queens of Africa. Algeria, on the other hand, has had a tougher road. This is their 6th WAFCON appearance, and they've unfortunately never made it past the group stage. Their best moments came in 2004, 2006, and 2018, but they've yet to break through to the knockout route. With 4 points already in this edition, it looks like they are going to about rewrite history and have a good showing in the knockout stages potentially. It's been a tale of 2 journeys, Nigeria's legacy of dominance versus Algeria's quest for a breakthrough. Let's look at the head-to-head and the previous meetings between both teams. This is the first ever clash between Nigeria and Algeria at the WAFCON, making it a fresh chapter in the rivalry overall. But outside of the WAFCON, the 2 teams have faced off 4 times, and Nigeria has won every single one of those encounters. The 2 most recent victories, of course, were in friendly matches that took place in Nigeria in October 2024. Nigeria, of course, won both matches and won them fairly comfortably. So the head-to-head very, very much favors the Super Falcons. Both teams are writing a new story. Nigeria's new crop of talents trying to write their name in history, and Algeria trying to have a breakthrough. The stakes for this match couldn't be higher. So let's talk about what is on the line and the implications of this game. The game on July 13th is a battle for Group B supremacy. Nigeria, with 6 points, have already qualified for the quarterfinals, and a win or draw against Algeria will ultimately secure the top spot in the group, setting up a quarterfinal match against the runner up from Group A. As of the time of recording this video, that team is Zambia, but things could very much have changed by the time the group is decided. For Algeria, a win would see them leapfrog Nigeria to first place, a historic achievement, while a draw would be enough to secure their first ever knockout berth as one of the top two teams in Group B. If Nigeria loses this match and falls to second in the group, it will set up an encounter against the second place team from Group C, which is currently Mali. But of course, that could also look different when the group is decided. The stakes are massive. Nigeria wants to assert dominance, while Algeria is chasing history. And a loss for Algeria could be fairly tricky and risky if Tunisia beats Botswana in the other match in the group, as it might push Algeria down to third, and then they have to rely on being one of the best third place teams. Let us look at the players who could potentially decide this match. Players to watch. For Nigeria, well, it would be wrong for me not to mention the two of them. You have to keep your eyes on Chinwendu Ihezuo and Esther Okoronkwo. The substitutes duo have been nothing short of being super subs, combining for goals in both matches against Tunisia and Botswana. Ihezuo's knack for finding the little space in the box has been very impressive with this tournament, and Okoronkwo's skill on the ball has honestly just been a breath of fresh air. Then there's Ashley Plumter, who has had a good tournament so far and continues to lead the Super Falcons defense from the left back position. I think she could potentially have a big role to play in Sunday's match. For Algeria, we have Guccia Kachuni as the standout player. The Inter Milan midfielder scored the winner for them against Botswana, and she brings her technical brilliance to the midfield. Up top, Ines Butaleb has been slightly a threat despite not scoring a goal yet. And I also have to mention a player that I noticed, Lina Busaha. She's a teammate of Ashley Plumter at Etihad Ladies in Saudi Arabia. She's very skilled, and she could be a bit of a handful for the Super Falcons defense. These players could tip the skills in a tight contest. It is star power versus rising talent. Now, how will these teams line up or set up tactically? It is no surprise or no news to anybody that watched Nigeria's game against Botswana that it felt like we did not have a proper game plan from the coach. Under Coach Madugu, the Super Falcons typically deploy a 4-3-3 formation, balancing attack and defense. I expect Chiamaka Nnadozie to retain her spot in goal, a back four with Ashley Plumter at the heart of the defense, with no other changes, a midfield trio led by Halima Twinde, and with Deborah Abiodun suspended, I expect to see Tibe to start the match, and then Ajibade most likely will play ahead of them because that's where the coach has been using her. Up top, it would be interesting to see if he plays Asisa Toshuala and Tony Payne again, or if he starts the game this time with Esther Okoronkwo and Chinwendu Ihezuo. The game plan will be high pressing, quick transition, and exploiting the flanks to stretch Algeria's compact defense. We need to do a better job of breaking them down than we did in the game against Botswana. Algeria typically play with a 4-2-3-1 formation or a 4-3-3 under coach Farid Benstiti. But could they make some changes and show respect to Nigeria like Botswana did? We have to wait and see. It is most likely going to be in Gaza in goal, a solid backline anchored by Galati and Kezami to shield the defense. Kachuni will play as their creative midfielder, trying to feed Butaleb up top, with Busaha a threat on the left wing. Their strategy most likely is going to be to stay compact, absorb Nigeria's pressure, and hit Nigeria on the counter, trying to use Kachuni's vision and Busaha's skill. If they just try to play an all-out attack game against Nigeria, it is very hard to see how they could potentially win the match like that. I am really, really interested in seeing how Michelle Alozie matches up against Busaha of Algeria. Busaha plays from the left. Alozie, of course, is the right back for the Super Falcons. And I'm excited about this because we know Alozie is not the best natural defender. And man, Busaha, she has some techers. I'm not going to lie to you. She has those touches. She has those turns. She has the skill. She could be a handful if Alozie is not careful. But of course, it's going to largely depend on how much time and space that she's able to get on the ball. Nigeria's attackers could very much decide this game because the Algerian defenders, even though they've been good in this tournament, They haven't faced firepower. They haven't faced star power. They haven't faced the ability of players that the Super Falcons have. Nigeria's attacking fluidity will definitely test Algeria's defensive resolve. But if Les Verts can somehow stay organized and exploit counters, could they cause an upset in this match? So that brings me to my prediction. This is a slightly tough one to call for me because Coach Madigu could very much rotate the team for this game, considering the fact that we've already qualified for the quarterfinal. Nigeria has a lot of talented players and there's strength in depth. There's attacking firepower. So regardless of who plays, the Super Falcons will be favorites for this match. There are 4 goals scored so far, and clean sheets in the 2 games definitely show that Nigeria is a good goal scoring team and also a tough nut to crack. Algeria's defense is impressive, but 1 goal in 2 games suggests that they might struggle to break Nigeria down or to create clear-cut chances against the Super Falcons, and of course to be able to beat Chiamaka Nadozie, who has been a passenger for this tournament so far. I'm going to be a bit more conservative than my prediction for the Botswana game, and I'm going to predict a 2-0 victory for Nigeria. I am really hoping that Rashida Ajibade can find the back of the net because I want her to get going before we get into the tournament knockout stages. She was given the player of the match by the WAFCON technical committee for the last game, but keen observers did not really think that she was the best player, and she definitely did not play anywhere close to her best. So I'm hoping that she can get a goal. It gives her that confidence, and she can get firing before we face a tougher team in the quarterfinals. That's really my hope. And then maybe his will scores another goal. I want a Nigerian player to be at the top of the goal scoring charts. So our players need to catch up if that is going to be the case. I'm going to predict, like I said, a 2-0 victory for the Super Falcons. But if Algeria manages to somehow score early and they decide to park the bus, huh, who knows what we might see? Because we saw how the Super Falcons struggled to break down the bus of Botswana. What do you think? What is your own prediction for the game? Let me know in the comments. And of course, as always, I will engage with you. That's it for Nigeria versus Algeria, the match preview. We've covered the rankings, we've covered the form, we've covered the history, we've covered the tactics. And now it is time to get ready for kickoff on Sunday. Who's your player to watch? Will Nigeria dominate or will Algeria pull off a shock? Let me know in the comments. Like this video and of course subscribe to the channel for more WAFCON coverage. Also, you should probably follow us on Instagram at EaglesTracker NG for updates and everything that we put out. Thank you for watching. Let's get ready for some exciting football. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.